guidance on these guys who are looking at the fact that, yes, in an outdoor grow, your square footage is going to cap you. In an indoor grow, it's going to be your wattage. We're still going to keep track of everything. That's part of the statute. But yes, I think there's growing awareness of different ways of predicting yield.
Maybe we could define plant as X watts then. It's an objective, scientific measurement. Watts can easily be measured. Maybe that would be a better way to define it. We can define plant. I mean, I guess my point is it's a fact. I know. And so we can define it even as watts. X number of watts constitutes a plant.
Okay, we're digressing a little bit here, but Nick, if you would finish this, then let's move on to distribution.
We did define plant here, and that's in the memorandum of support with detailed plant. We define most effectively to provide the widest range of grow techniques for the different growers. And unfortunately, at this point in time, we're dealing with the fact that we have to deal with it on the basis of the statute of the 6 plants, and that's what we're trying to do.
Okay, thank you. Let's move on to distribution. Nick or Norton?
Go ahead, Mark.
So chronologically then, you have your harvested product, your raw harvested product. And so just a plain reading of the word manufacturing, if you look at it, it says you're taking a raw product and you're then converting it, processing it, manufacturing it into a product that's ready for the consumer and user ready. And so we kind of shadowed that definition throughout this particular purpose, also keeping an eye on the best ways, given the information that's out there right now, for the department to keep a real-time track of plant numbers. That's a discussion for another day about the outlines of security, though we do know that we're going to be dealing with some cameras, and we're going to be dealing with something akin to a barcode or a radio identification tracking system, something along those lines. And so we put that into our thinking along the distribution channel. We do define manufacturing rather broadly in that we define it as the process of packaging raw medical marijuana plants and extracts in an optional premise cultivation facility. And again, this, for purposes of convenience, we tethered it all to those grow sites that are associated with an MMC. A lot of this information is going to be useful and perhaps indicative of what the regulations are going to look like for the infused products manufacturers, but I think beginning with this gives us some solid framework moving forward. I'm not going to go into all the particular details of it. Suffice it to say that during the during the manufacturing process, we prepare the product, weigh the product, it becomes hard weight, which is then accounted for, reported to the DOR, and it gets ready for distribution. And so, I don't think it's very productive right now to go over the minutia of this until everybody has had time to really go through it with a fine-tooth comb and offer up particular suggestions. Keeping in line with what we've been saying so far, we're trying to identify and label along the chronology of seed to sale what the different rubrics and foci should be. And that perhaps for logistical reasons, we'd be wise to set up security and tracking mechanisms that perhaps are going to be a little bit different in the manufacturing part than in the distribution part. Why? Well, because the distribution rules are going to deal with transportation, they're going to deal with security, they're going to be dealing with weighing out and then weighing in at the delivery location. And so this just kind of gave us the right framework and the right sort of structure to write these proposed rules. So
another comment. This is another parallel, I think, that can be used for the MIPS. Manufacturing is manufacturing is manufacturing in my mind. So if you would, the MIPS group, again, take a look at it. I think the entire rule may apply and fit very nicely on that.
I see one thing that I'd be concerned about, in part one of this, where it says that distribution includes but is not limited to trafficking of raw medical marijuana plants and extracts. And this goes back to what I was concerned about in the last situation, where if we're having this weight-based situation, are we gonna find that the mix can never buy raw byproducts because it's always being turned into an extract on site, because some of us don't work from that perspective, and I think if this is written to tailor to that, it shuts a certain segment of our industry out. I don't know how to explain this in a way, but basically,
Everybody's on the wrong page. Everybody's on the wrong page.
We're on distribution.
We're on manufacturing.
That's what we're talking about.
what the hell is it?
So it's switched,
It's
the
out of order,
process
I'm
should be
sorry.
cultivation and
Sorry.
manufacturing.
Barbara, go ahead.
Sorry. The process should be cultivation, manufacturing, distribution. So distribution and manufacturing are switched in your packet. After what we just discussed about cultivation, we're now moving into manufacturing.
And I apologize, I just printed things and stuck it together and didn't put it in order.
When we get back to the page I was talking about, I'll have some issues.
Okay, dealing with the manufacturing rate specifically.
I was wondering why what I was reading didn't really seem to have anything to do with what we were talking about.
Another element to keep in mind is something that the department actually has been incredibly helpful in giving us the ammunition, if you will, to write these rules. Because what Dan Hartman in particular has advocated from the very beginning is how do we collect data at points throughout the process which are both accurate and useful for purposes of predicting future yields. Because, you know, in the future when the department and the industry has assembled that data about what a particular yield is going to be in a particular square footage, then we're going to be able to see that any variance is perhaps a red flag and merits some investigation for diversion or whatnot. So if we can, along the process, find these reliable data points, then I think we will have done our job. And so in the manufacturing, when you read through this, when you guys get a chance, you will see those references to points of data collection. And I'm sure there's going to be a little trial and error going forward about what exactly are the best points in the life cycle of the plant to take this particular data, whether we weigh it wet or dry. Obviously, we're going to weigh it dry, rather, but whether we weigh it wet, whether we weigh it with the buds and the flowers, excluding the stems, we want to be clear about that, but keeping in mind that what we're trying to do here, the intent is to create these data points that gives both regulators, lawmakers, and really the law enforcement in the state of Colorado the peace of mind to say, you know what, at any point during the process, we can identify whether or not this individual is compliant and whether there is really the need for further investigation.
Has there been any discussion or conversation about standardizing the bill methods? Because Europe would have consistent data for every bill operations using different methods. So that yield is going to be totally skewed.
Right.
That's sort of how, go ahead, man.
If I may, Ryan and Barb and I are actually working on a presentation of how to do this based on a lot of years of watching how it's done, and although there is variation, I think we're going to be able to give you guys a pretty good idea how to fine tune that. So we're going to go over that with each other, but we're going to pass that over to Dan here and see if it looks like something that's feasible. But I think you will find that there's a good amount of capacity to predict what one garden is going to do down the road. So we'll let everybody look at that, but we're in the process of going around that sort of equation and presentation.
Okay, that's a good point. Okay. Barb?